As you just heard, my name is Pamela Stratigakis. I am a judge from the United States, and I preside in one of the busiest criminal courtrooms in the country. Thank you. I am the daughter of a Greek immigrant, a father who immigrated from Sparta, Greece, with $26 in his pocket and the clothes he had on him. We heard that story our entire life. I am a mother of a beautiful little girl. I am the wife of, wait for it, you're going to be shocked, a husband who is Greek. And I am a Hellene. I want to take these next couple moments to talk to you about my experience and my journey that brought me to this point. And I'll start it by saying the journey was not easy. It was filled with disappointments, roadblocks, barriers that I didn't know even existed growing up as a young girl in a household that spoke only Greek. Barriers and challenges like my long Greek last name. When I decided to run for election to become a judge, the first thing I was told was, Stratigakis is way too long of a name. It's too ethnic, it's too Greek, it's not a good ballot name, you need to seriously consider shortening it. I didn't, and now that very long Greek last name stands on a big block outside my courtroom in that busy courthouse. That journey was filled with people who didn't understand our culture, our language, and at times maybe even ridiculed it. You know, those times where Easter, the kids in my neighborhood got little baskets and bunnies filled with little colorful chocolate eggs. Meanwhile, my family roasted a lamb on the front lawn and came home with probably the greatest fire hazard ever, labades with lights, to bring home the divine light from Anastasi. I got ridiculed. Children didn't understand why all the kids had to go to Greek school, including me, why I couldn't come out to play because I went to a bilingual school, meaning half the day I had all the subjects in Greek, half the day I had all the subjects in English. So I went home with homework, math homework, and arithmetiki homework. Yes, same, but I had to do it in both languages. I went home with reading and anagnosi, geography and geografia. And kids just didn't understand. But I also, and I can't let this not be said, also grew up with the Greek guilt that every parent, I think, has made an art form of. I'll tell you, when I was a senior in high school, I was one of 2 students in my senior class of 680 that got into the University of Chicago, Illinois, and a scholarship, and my father did not let me go because it was too far away. I would have to go away, and I wouldn't be home for dinner. So I went to Loyola in Chicago, still a very good school, not my first choice, but I could commute back and forth and be there when they needed me. And I'll tell you, on this journey, even though I did all those things, my parents ingrained in me, yatokalo, for my good, and I will admit now, looking back, it was indeed that. I worked hard, got good grades, put education first so I can stand on my own 2 feet to not need a man, but definitely marry a man and have children, because we have to do that as Greek women. Have a career, be the top of my profession, but be a good mom, a good wife, make the perfect pasticho, all the while I am trying to work and come up as a lawyer, as a prosecutor, and now as a judge. And talk about mission impossible. James Bond has nothing on us Greek women, I'll tell you that. But what I want to say is that journey was also filled with a family that fiercely loved and supported me. Parents who worked so hard to give me and my sisters opportunities that they never had. They ingrained in me a work ethic that came straight from ancient Greece. There's not a road for you to get there, you make it. There is not an obstacle you cannot surpass if you do not put your mind, heart, conviction, and work for it. And because you are a Hellene and it is in your blood. That is the foundation that my parents taught me and built and made me the empowered Greek American woman that I am today. All those barriers that, you know, at times were actually at the same time strength, and what caused me and taught me to persevere, because life is full of obstacles and disappointments, and it is those same barriers of being a Hellene that caused me to find and achieve the greatness that is within all of us. I also wanted to just touch upon the importance of the Greek American community and the importance that it played in my life. The Greek community is like no other. People surround you, help you, are there, support you, and I cannot tell you what that meant to me as a young girl growing up and wanting to be something that I didn't have parents that were lawyers or had any ins at the state's attorney's office or politicians or anything like that. But you know what I did have? I did have the daughters of my dad's friends that came here from Greece, immigrated just like them, one of which, the power of mentorship and the people and community around you in the Greek community is like no other. I'll tell you, when I got out of law school, I was initially at a firm doing real estate mergers, and I hated it. I was in front of a computer in an office and living a slow death. And I went to a closing where it was a building that my dad, at the closing was my dad's friend and daughter, Peggy Chiampas, who at the time was a prosecutor in the state's attorney's office. And she said to me at the end of it, you know, Pam, if you ever think about coming over, give me a call, and I did. And this woman helped me my entire career. She paved open doors, paved paths when it was a boys' club, there wasn't a woman, let alone a Greek woman in that office that achieved supervisor status. She then ascended to the bench, and I followed in her footsteps. And she's actually here with me today. People are going to think I don't go anywhere without her, and is speaking next. But the other thing I just wanted to touch upon throughout my life, one of the things my parents always said to me, and my dad specifically, a saying that was a household phrase in our house was, "Κάθε εμπόδιο για το καλό," meaning every obstacle is for the good. Every disappointment, every barrier, I got up, dusted myself off, and went on it again like we Hellenes do. And it truly made me understand the value of every achievement, because it didn't come easy for us. And there's still a lot of work for us to do, and we need to continue to inspire and help and empower each other. I'm going to end with a story about my daughter and the Greek guilt that I think never goes away, but I'm working on it. When I was running for election, I was also working full-time. I was a partner at a firm. And after work, I was going and running around and campaigning. And my daughter started first grade. She was 6 years old. I didn't get to take her to her first day of school, which was heart-wrenching for me. And the very afternoon, the teacher from the first grade called me. I'm like, how can this be possible? She said, Mrs. Stratigakis, can you please come? I wanted to talk to you about something. I'm like, it's her first day, Fotini's such a good girl. What could possibly have happened? So I went after school, and I went in, and the teacher said, come on in. It was the school had let out. She said, I heard you're running for judge. And I said, yes, Miss Desmond. did you hear it from someone? Did you see a billboard? She said, no. During recess, your daughter was passing out your palm cards. She had stolen a bunch of them that has my name and where I was running for judge and my qualifications, passed them out to each student in her classroom and said, give this to your parents, tell them to vote for my mom because she's running for judge. So I say this as a woman, as a mother. I was sitting there racked in guilt, and what I failed to see is that my little girl was watching, and she was being inspired, and it was when I wasn't looking, and we as women need to remember that. There's a Peggy Chiampas that I saw and said, well, if a Panayota Chiampa can be a judge, maybe a Panayota Stratigakis can too. There's a 6-year-old girl and a woman next to you in this courtroom, force a habit, in this conference room. You never know who you will touch and inspire to achieve the greatness that is in us all, the Hellene in us all. So thank you all so much.